So I was kind of like, I have no idea what's happening. I didn't know you could dribble in soccer, and then I was kind of like, oh, it's with your feet, because you, yeah.
There's a monster in me.
Bam. Okay. Do that every single time. Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful anime fans. Shelby here, and today we are doing next installment of Anime Simp Hour. This one I'm very excited for, because I had kind of a little bit of an emotional roller coaster with this character when I first watched the show that this person's in. If you guessed in the previous episode, I believe it is with Hawks. In Hawks' video, if you guessed that the quote character was Bachira from Blue Lock, you're correct. We are talking about Bachira from Blue Lock today. I am very excited because I love Bachira. If you ask me who my favorite character is in Blue Lock, it is Bachira currently. At the time of filming this, also, I have caught up with season 1 of Blue Lock. I have not started season 2 yet because I have some other things I have to do and other shows I need to catch up on. So I at least got through season 1 so I could do this. So after I do season 2, if there's anything to discuss when it comes to Bachira, I will do a part 2 of his video. So don't think this is going to be it. I will do another one if there's anything to discuss with him. And with the announcement of season 3 coming out, if there's anything. What I'm going to do with these, if I'm talking about characters where the shows are still ongoing, I will just do part 2s or 3s or whatever as it goes. If there's things to talk about with that specific character. So, don't worry. This is not going to be the last video probably about Bachira. So, don't worry about that. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fun. I absolutely love Bachira. Bachira is my favorite character in this show. It was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster because at the beginning when we first meet him and he is half asleep during the stuff and he kicks the guy in the face, I was like, you are cool. This guy's cool. All right. He's awesome. And then when he is talking to Izuki, kind of the first full-on interactions they have alone together, and he's like, there's a monster inside of me. And then there's like a creepy animation change on him when he says that. And I was like, oh, you're also cool, but you're terrifying as hell. Like, God, you're kind of terrifying. And he kind of scared me a little bit at first. But then as I was watching, I was realizing I was rooting for him. I was excited when he was on screen. I was excited when he got the ball in a soccer game. And I was like, do I like Bachira? I was like, is Bachira my favorite character in this show? And realized that was true. Before even realizing it, I absolutely fell in love with him. And I'm excited to talk about him because I think he's just a very fun character in this show. And I think it's going to be a joy and funness to talk about him. I don't have the full-on aesthetic of him because I don't have anything that would really go. It was either this or a dark blue, like, cheetah outfit. And I was like, that's not Bachira. But I wasn't sure if this would fit or not. So I was like, I guess I'll have to wear that. And I tried to kind of do like a yellowish blue eyeshadow, kind of. You can't really tell, but oh well. So I don't have the full-on aesthetic of him, but I kind of do. So, anyway, we are going to get started with Bachira Anime Simp Hour, and you should go subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and check out my other social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, Etsy. I have a YouTube membership thing now. I added early access to videos on my membership on YouTube now, so like Patreon, I do them 2 days early. You will get them 2 days early on the membership thing too. So, yeah, you can go have that funness and joy if you want to. Get them a few days early. Find out if you were correct or not if you try to figure out who the quote was from the previous video. And that also reminds me too, stay tuned to the end of this video if you want to learn who the next character is going to be. So at the end of every video, Anime Simp Hour, I am giving a quote at the end of who the next one will be. And you can guess who that will be in the comments before the video comes out and see if you're right or not. And after the 2 videos come out, I then am doing a poll on my YouTube as well for the next one to see who all you all think it is. So, kind of having a little bit of fun little game here to see who you all think it is. And I tend to wait until the last minute to figure out the quote. Instead of just figuring it out beforehand, I'm doing it like on the spot while recording. So, I don't know what to tell you. I should probably figure it out first. But, you know, maybe doing it on the spot is more fun for you guys watching me sit here trying to figure it out. So, you never know. Anyway. Just a little quick thing in case you are new here and this is your first time watching an Anime Simp Hour video and it's Bachira. I am changing up my content to where this is going to be like me and you are at a coffee shop. We are hanging out, we're chilling, and you say, Shelby, who's your favorite from Blue Lock? And we are going to talk about Bachira. We're going to talk about everything. This is called Anime Simp Hour, but for the record, we are not going to be talking about if Bachira is attractive or not. We are going to be talking about just things about Bachira. Like his back stuff we've gotten on his backstory, how he is as a player, his friendship with Izuki. Like, we're going to go into those kinds of things, not that. Not that. So it's still called Anime Simp Hour, but that's not what we're doing here. Just a little bit of, you know, FYI here in case you're like, what? No, we're not doing that. Not doing that. So, got that out of the way. But, we're going to we are going to get started with this Anime Simp Hour video of the one and only Meguru Bachira. I have on here like stuff that I want to know more about Bachira. And one of the things is like his family and childhood. And I wrote a lot of this before finishing season 1. I was kind of just occasionally writing down stuff that would come to my head. And then when I finished season 1, they do kind of give you a little bit into Bachira's story. Not like a massive amount, just kind of, you know, he's always believed that monster inside of him and he's always listened to it. Like his mom seemed to be like a painter, I think, and, you know, encouraged him to listen to the monster inside of him and wanted him to be who he was instead of trying to hide who he was, I think. And it reveals that Bachira has always wanted to play with somebody and have a friend who loves soccer as much as he does and also has a monster inside of him, and he's always been searching for that other person that he can play with and have a friendship with that likes soccer as much as he does, and they can have that he can play with, you know. And this, from he was a child to going to Blue Lock, that's been his entire kind of purpose, is trying to figure that out. And the first time he has ever felt like he's truly met somebody who has that potential of having a monster inside of them and having a friend like that he can have this bond over when it came to soccer was Izuki. He met Izuki and he became that friend of his and kind of became his purpose to play soccer, even, it seemed like. Get, you know, the friendship that formed between them. I personally love their friendship. I love how close Izuki and Bachira get so quickly. You know, it was almost immediately. Those two kind of became very close. And I love them on the field, especially, because it's like they can read each other's minds a lot. They just seem to know what the other's going to do. They know the capabilities they both have. And to watch them, you know, have that type of gameplay and to see them on the field is just really fun. And off the field, too. I think they're so funny off the field. They're very silly together. And I just think it's fun, you know, to see them both have this type of friendship in this place. And Bachira is just such a funny character to me. He is so goofy, but can be, like, he can be serious, but it's still in a goofy way kind of serious. He is realizing that he needs to listen to himself, listen to his heart instead of the monster. And he feels like the only reason he's playing is because of Izuki. And he needs to get away from that and play because he wants to. And he wants to play with Izuki. He says he still wants to play with Izuki, but he doesn't have to play with Izuki. I think that was kind of the difference. He has that realization during this game of what he's capable of. And kind of realizing the chains that the monster has kind of caused him, like, to be around, and he lets that go and is like, I'm gonna listen to myself and not the monster anymore. I'm gonna see what happens if I do that. And I liked kind of that aspect. I got a little worried though, because he was kind of seeming like Izuki was abandoning him and was getting ahead of him, and how he was kind of seeming like maybe Rin would be a better friend, kind of. And I was like, no, honey. I was like, honey, no. Izuki is a way better friend, first of all. He is not running away from you. He's not abandoning you. He is there because he wants to win you back. Like, he has been determined to win you back since he lost you. Like, he's not going anywhere. Like, he wanted to win so they could take Bachira. And, because that was the whole point. That's what he wanted. That's not what ended up happening, because Izuki and the others ended up losing. But then he was chosen. Izuki was chosen, because Rin kind of felt like they almost lost because of Izuki, so he wanted him on the team as a challenge for himself, kind of. And that was really shocking. I really thought Izuki and them were going to win, and they were going to take Bachira back. I did not realize that's not what was going to happen at all. I was like, oh, no. He's going to be chosen instead. And then Bachira is... I mean, he's happy, you can tell. He's happy that Izuki is... They're back together. But I think there is a sense of... You know, that started to worry me, because I was like, no, he is there because of you, Bachira. He has been determined to win you back since he lost you. Like, hello? And that's something that I know I've seen a lot of people, like, talk about and argue if Blue Lock is any type of a BL form of content. And I can definitely see the possibility, but I don't know if I fully agree yet. I'm still in the middle where I see it, but also don't, if that makes sense. With Bachira and Izuki, I think it's a good example, because they are very close and get close very quickly. But when Bachira is chosen in the second selection and they lose him, he is like, if you want me, win me back. And he's like, and then, you know, that's what happens afterwards. Like, they keep saying, or Bachira mentions Izuki about how he's gonna come back and win him back. I'm just ready to play with Izuki, or against Izuki. Like, that's all it became. And then for Izuki, it was the same thing. He's like, I have to win back what I lost. Anytime they were about to start a soccer match, that is what he was thinking about. Was winning Bachira back. Like, that was the most important thing in that moment, was winning Bachira back. And I was like, that type of stuff, I can really see why some people do think that. And it's kind of the same with Nagi and Reo, I think. There's definitely some moments there where I can still kind of see the possibility. But I don't agree or disagree. I'm kind of in that middleness of, I can see it going either way, but I'm not watching Blue Lock for that type of stuff. I'm watching it because of the characters, because of the animation, because of the story. Soccer. I know nothing about soccer. I know absolutely shit. So I really came into the show expecting not to fully like it too much, but I have grown to like it. But I'm not watching it for the purpose of relationships. If that happens, that's fine. I don't care. That's great. Like, if it's that type of a thing, or if it's not, I'm gonna like it regardless, I think. But that's not the reason I'm watching the show. But I can see why people do think it, and I can see why people don't. You know, but I also just like Bachira. I just think he's really fun. He is such a funny, goofy character. Like, they are all, like, talking about strategy in the beginning, and Bachira is just like, he's just like, I'm gonna take a nap while you all, you know, plan all of this. I'm gonna nap. And that was really funny. When the second selection started, and they ended up forming a trio team as Bachira, Izuki, and Nagi, I did not realize how much I would love that trio until it happened. I was like, this is a trio we didn't know we needed. But we are so happy it's here. I loved those three as a team because they worked so well together. And I don't know, they all just had this really cool dynamic, the three of them had. And I liked, you know, Bachira and Nagi, I think, were really fun and cool together, too. Just like Izuki and Bachira were, I think Izuki and Nagi end up having a chemical reaction, too, and they end up having really cool moments together on the field and off. But he's close with Nagi, you could tell. Nagi was upset, too, about losing Bachira. He was just as upset as Izuki was. And just in that little short time of being around Bachira, even Nagi was upset that they lost him, because I think he was starting to form maybe a friendship with Bachira too. And he had to leave them for these other people who you can tell he hasn't fully gotten along with since joining the team. You know, you can tell there's a little bit of between them. And so going from that type of a dynamic to this new team, I'm sure was difficult to process, because he was really close with Nagi and Izuki, I think, especially Izuki. But, you know, I liked that trio. That was such a cool trio. I didn't know what was going to happen after the second selection was over. Like, I didn't know if they were going to go back to Team Z, if they were going to go back to their original teams, or if they were going to move them around because so many players would be gone. I didn't realize that the show would end with the season would end with 11 players. So now they're all on a team together now. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I get it now. Like, I did not realize that was what was going to happen. So that was a surprising twist. I kind of just figured that they would, you know, kind of just go along. But because I was like, man, I want Izuki, Nagi, and Bachira to be on a team together. Like, I wanted them to be on a team so bad. I was like, if they go back to Team Z, can they put Nagi on Team Z? Like, can they just move some teams around and put him in there? I mean, yeah, they're on a team together anyway, apparently. But that was cool. I want Nagi and Izuki and Bachira to be on a team together again, because they were just really fun. And Shigiri. Shigiri joining Izuki, Nagi, and Bardo, I really liked, because I also like Shigiri too. So, I really liked the match. I don't remember what team they were against when it happened, but there was a game where Bachira just went all the way down the field by himself. None of Team Z was there. He went all the way down, dribbled all the way down, and scored. Like, it was nothing. And he is an incredible fucking player. Very good dribbler, too. I kind of forgot that was a term in soccer, too. I know basketball, there's dribbling. I kind of forgot what that meant for soccer. Because again, I don't know much about soccer. Okay? I don't know really jack shit. Give me football. I know American football very well. But I do not know soccer to save my life. So I was kind of like, I have no idea what's happening. I didn't know you could dribble in soccer. And then I was kind of like, oh, it's with your feet. Because yeah. But he is just an incredible dribbler. And that game was really cool to watch him just go all the way down the field and score. And he kind of tries to do it in one of the last matches they were in. I think he was dealing with too much in his mind of what was going on and all that stuff, that he kind of just lost it a little bit. But I think he's going to be better now going. I think he's going to improve even more going forward. I was very upset when they took Bachira. Like, when they chose him out of the second selection and they lost and he was the one chosen to leave, I was like, no. Like, don't separate Izuki and Bachira. Like, don't do that. I was so upset. I remember being so angry. I was so mad. Look, did it make sense because Bachira is an incredible player? Yeah. Of course you would pick Bachira. But still, doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Like, I was like, don't do that to Izuki. Don't take him away. I was so mad. I would like to know a little bit. I don't recall they went into a huge detail of the monster inside of him. They just kind of, his mom just kind of explains that he's always had it. Always says something about there being a monster and listening to it. And I would like to know a little bit more about that. Like, is there a deeper meaning to that monster? Or is it just being a child? Like, just him being a kid, and then it just kind of continued on in his teenager life. I would like to know the deeper meaning of the monster. You know, like, I feel like stuff like that, there's normally a deeper sense of it. So I would really like to, I don't know if they ever will explain any more on that, but that's something I would like to know. Like, is there a deeper backstory of the monster than what we've been told so far? Because I don't know. I could see it being deeper, but then I could also just kind of see, you know, I can just see it being him just being a child and having somebody to talk to and having somebody to play with. And it just led into his teenager years, you know. That's just kind of what I assume, but at the same time, you never know. You know, stuff like that normally means there's a deeper meaning behind it. And I'm just curious if there's a deeper meaning with the monster inside of him. I did enjoy when they got to go up against Izuki and the team, when they were kind of deciding to move some of them around. Like, they moved some of the matchups around. And because they moved some of them around, it meant Izuki and Bachira would have to match up. And I kind of liked that. That was really cool to kind of see them, like, kind of go up against each other a little bit. And so it was really fun. I did like the end of, I don't remember if it was the end of season, I think it's the end of season 1. No, it was before the match with the All-Stars. It was before they did that. They, I believe, anyways, I could be wrong. But it was before that, Izuki can't sleep, so he goes to try to train, and then Bachira apparently couldn't sleep either, so he finds Izuki training, and same thing that happened when they first met. They ended up training together, and them, like, kind of having that reunion thing of saying how, like, they will go up against the All-Stars together, and watching them, like, train and, like, collide and stuff was really cool. I was like, let's go. Because, you know, they've been wanting to back to each other this entire time, so to finally see it happen was really cool. And then, you know, they got their butts kicked by the All-Stars. But that makes sense. They are the All-Stars for a reason. You know? Like, of course you're not gonna do great against them. Like, I wasn't really surprised by that at all, but I get it kind of being a lot, though. Because, yeah, they're All-Star players. Like, of course they're gonna win, but you still want to do your best. They got a score, if I remember right. They scored once. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't like Bachira kind of acting like how much that Izuki was getting ahead of him and trying to leave him. That made me kind of sad. Like, I get it. You know, he was feeling that way in that moment, but that's so not what was happening. Like, that was just Bachira's emotion getting the better of him, but that made me really sad. I kept, like, sitting there just being like, no, that's not true, Bachira. Shut up. Like, it's not true. Like, it drove me crazy. And then him trying to also see, like, maybe Reen is another person he could be friends with. I'm like, no. I mean, yeah, you can be friends with him, but don't replace Izuki. It kind of felt like he was thinking about replacing Izuki, and I'm like, no. Thankfully, obviously that didn't happen because now they're fine. But I was like, please don't do that. Don't do that. I liked they played against the two brothers who could read each other's minds based on their expressions. Like, their facial expressions, they knew meant this or meant this. And when that game's over, some of Team Z tries to see if they could figure out how to do that. And it, like, randomly pans to Bachira, and he's going, nah. And Izuki's like, oh, it's this, or it's this. Like, they're trying to guess what it is. And he's like, oh, he's hungry. And he's like, something about rain, I think, was the answer. I don't remember now what it was, but that was so funny. He is just such a goofy character in this show. He is so fun, and I love him. I love the sassiness. I love how funny he is. I love how confident he is. His design is cool. I love the yellow under his hair that goes with his eyes. I think it's really cool looking. He's a very cool player, and a very fun character for this show too, because, you know, it's a game about soccer and you have this silly, goofy guy who likes to stick his tongue out all the time. There's a picture of him sticking his tongue out for the first time. He's like, like, he does that all the time. But it's really funny to me. He's just a fun character. And I absolutely love him. I love him way more than I thought. My favorites are, I think I said it in my video about Blue Lock, but Bachira, Nagi, and Izuki and Shigiri are kind of my four favorites right now anyway. At least for season 1. You know, they are kind of some of my favorites. This is so cool. I also would like to know where his father was. We got to see his mom, but we never saw a father or anything. So I would kind of like to know, like, was he just not there? Did he work a lot? You know, like, I would still like to know a little bit more about Bachira. We at least got to see a little bit in season 1, which I was happy about, but I would like to know a little bit more as to, like, his father, where he was. I would like to know if there's a little bit of a deeper thing when it came to the monster, because I feel like there might be a little bit more in-depthness of that character, because it just kind of implied it, you know. I think there's a little bit more to it than what they say, but I just think he's really cool. He's such a fun, cool character in this show. I love when he plays. When he plays, I just think he is so fun watching him play soccer. A lot of the goals we've seen him get is just really cool. I can't wait to watch season 2 to get a little bit more into Bachira, because he's cool. He's cool to me. Like, I don't know why. I saw his Izuki. I mean, I won't lie. I think Izuki is cool too. But when Bachira plays, I think it's just so fun to watch. I get memorized in watching him play. Mesmerized in watching him play, because he is just so fun to watch. And his voice actor. I really like his voice actor. I think he's also the pink-haired guy in Windbreaker. Mitsuki, I believe. Mitsuki. He's the one with the hot dog phone case. He's also him. He's also the guy in Heaven Official's Blessing, if you don't know. The guy who, in the backstory of young Anne, when Shailene is the state preceptor, and Shailene is in like a room, and this kid walks in, and he's like, "Have you seen the prince?" And Shailene just looks at him, and he's like, "Well, on to the next room then." And he leaves. That's Bachira. Is his friend, is the Prince Shinchao's like friend and stuff, and he's also him too. I knew immediately when I heard that guy talk. I was like, "Is that Bachira? That's Bachira!" And I think he's the same one when we first meet Prince Shinchao, who yells, "Your Highness!" And Shailene at first thinks he's talking to him. I think he's the same guy. I think that's the same person. I believe. Because he sounds like Bachira too. So I think it's the same one. I heard him, and I was like, who is that? But I didn't make the connection until the backstory of Shailene being the state preceptor, where I was like, oh, it's Bachira. That's why he sounded... I thought it was Deku at first. And then when I heard the voice again, but a little bit clearer, I was like, oh, it's Bachira. I was like, is that Bachira? Yeah. So yeah, that was fun to realize he was in that. I don't really know what else besides those few things. I only know him in Blue Lock and Windbreaker and Heaven Official Blessing, I guess. I don't know if he's been in anything else, but I like the voice actor. I think he does a really good job as playing Bachira. Especially when he does the goofy moments and the goofy things. Is, you know, you're like, that just sounds like Bachira. Like, it fits. I love when voices fit characters so perfectly, and he's one of them where I feel like he just fits Bachira so well. Drew Breedlove? Breedlove? I don't know how you say it. But I think Bachira is just such a cool character. He's so fun. I absolutely love him. I want to know more. So I'm kind of hoping season 2 will bring more, or maybe season 3 will. I don't know how many seasons Blue Lock will be, but I hope Bachira is there for as long as he can. Like, if he can be there towards the very end. Even when the show is over, I hope Bachira and Izuki are friends afterward. That's kind of what I hope for. Like, when it's all said and done, and whoever's the striker, new striker is the new striker, I hope that Bachira and Izuki are still friends even after Blue Lock is over. That's what I hope for. Because I just think they are really cool. I love their friendship too, so I'm like, I want them to be friends even after the show's over. So, hopefully, that will happen. You know, we can only hope right now. I think the manga's still going. Is it? I think it is. Yeah. I'll have to find out, because I have no idea. Well, that's kind of all I had on Bachira for season 1 anyways. When I watch season 2, if there's anything more to discuss with Bachira, I will do a season 2. Or a part, do a part 2. And, you know, obviously when season 3 comes out, I will do another one as well, if there's anything to talk about when it comes to Bachira, at least. And if I add other characters from Blue Lock, I'll continue to do that process too. I probably will. Just trying to think. I just knew immediately I needed to do Bachira because he's my favorite character. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Simp Hour of Meguru Bachira. Let me know in the comments if you guys like Bachira. Who is your favorite? If it's not Bachira, who is it? What do you like about Bachira as a character? What is it that you want to know about him before the show ends? If you think he's a cool soccer player, like I do. And yeah, this was really fun. Again, I love Bachira. Bachira is literally just, I love him way more than I was expecting. I like the show way more than I was expecting too. So it's really fun when you get to like something that you didn't really think you would like. It's always fun. So the hint of the next character that I am gonna do. Deep. Why can I currently not think of any quotes from this character? Okay. So, the quote I am giving you for the next character of Anime Simp Hour, and in the comments, let me know who you think it is. And, I will probably, you'll find out pretty quickly because it comes out like I think this one will come out and then within the next day or two, that one will come out. So it'll kind of come out kind of quick, but just let me know in the comments who you think it is. And your quote is, "This is the first time I've ever fought for someone else." I want to give you some other hint because I feel like I've reacted to it. There we go. When I was reacting, I reacted to this. So, give you a little hint. You can go through my stuff and see if you can figure it out. But again, in the comments, let me know who you think it is, and I hope you all are enjoying this Anime Simp Hour series, and I hope you enjoyed this one of Meguru Bachira. And like always, I am happy you were here. Believe it.
Anyway, bye-bye.